because there's always going to be a life ambush. There's always going to be something that happens that's stressful, or, you know, something you weren't expecting to happen. You kind of weren't prepared for. It's going to knock you off, but you don't want it to knock you out. Like, things are going to knock you off your square sometimes, but you got to be able to be calm, get back on a square, and keep moving forward. What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the From Boys to Men show, brought to you by the Squire Program. I'm your host, Lheyton Cook, and we got a special episode today, guys. So I got to tell you something, man. You guys know I box, right? I've been boxing for the last 12 years, and I like to say that that's so much experience, whatever. It seems like a long time. It's over a decade, but there's always going to be someone who's better, right? And so I go to Ontario Boxing Club every once in a while to go and get sparring, preparing for this fight. And I got my ass whooped the other day. It was crazy. In fact, my bruises just healed. This is why we waited to film until today. Now I'm playing. But dude, literally, like, I had bruises on my forehead, in between my eyebrow, by the bridge of my nose. Like, man, it was a real humbling experience, but also a lot of fun. And I learned a lot about myself. And, you know, I have a couple big takeaways that I took away from just those 3 rounds of sparring with one of the pros at the gym that I think will benefit you guys as well. And, I kind of want to tee it up by saying that this is what I'm talking about when I say that you need to put yourself in, you know, difficult situations, difficult challenges, things where you're going to have to use your mind to get out of it, not just your physicality, but also your mind, because a man isn't just about being strong physically, but also strong mentally. And boxing is very much that. Yes, you got to, you know, have endurance and be strong, but it's very much a chess match. And I went up against somebody who they made me feel like a freaking grand wizard, like a grand master, like a freaking crazy dude. It was nuts, man. It was a lot of fun though. So my first biggest takeaway is that men must be aggressive and move forward and not retreat. And, you know, I remember when I got in the ring with him, we're moving around, trying to get our distance right and everything. But when he would come in, depending on how fast he would come in, my reflex would be to back out, right? And when you retreat, when you're just going backwards, if you know boxing, you can't just move backwards in a straight line. You can move backwards for a step or two, but then you need to cut angles and pivot and move out to the side, or use lateral movement, right? And so I was just moving backwards because his feints, or when he'd come in, it would make me react and just move backwards. But men need to move forward and not retreat. And what that would have done in the moment, maybe I would have got tagged with a shot or two because I'm moving straight into the punch, but that also would have put me in range to actually be able to attack. And I think a lot of times we do that in life where, you know, something happens where we have a life ambush or something like that, and we just move backwards. We're like, we kind of just like, you know, cover up and just like wait for the storm to subside. And that's not always the case. Like, you have to, as a man, you know, pull yourself up, man, pull your pants up and just go for it. Like, grab your nuts, bro. Like, go in there, go forward. Like, there's nothing, you're not going to die. Right. And that's the kind of the point I'm trying to nail, man, because I see that happen all the time, you know, whether it's in the boxing gym, whether it's in, you know, I don't know, even with weights, like weightlifting, you see people that, you know, they bite off more than they can chew, and they end up getting really hurt because they didn't commit. Right. It's all about commitment, moving forward, not retreating as a man. That's the most important thing. Number 2, another big lesson I took away is that you got to take advantage of your enemy. And if you don't, your enemy will take advantage of you. Now, in this specific instance, I just got new headgear. My headgear was a little too big. I only tried it on once, and I was like, oh, it'll be fine, whatever. So I put the headgear on, and we get in the ring, and we're moving around. Now, the light shots wasn't really moving my headgear, but when he landed a good punch, it would either turn my headgear to the side or put it over my eyes or whatever, pull it up too far, and I'm trying to adjust it, right? And as I'm adjusting it, I noticed that was when he would always come in, like without fail. It wasn't like he would let me, you know, fix my vision and make sure I could see. He took advantage of the moment, and he would come in. And he would get his shots off, whether it was to the head, where he'd punch, like literally I was trying to fix my gear. He punched through my hands, or he'd go to the body because I'm preoccupied trying to get my hands right. And so, that was a big moment for me, because in the moment I'm like, bro, like, I can't see. Like, you're going to literally like be a punk and punch me while I can't see. Like, come on, bro. But at the same time, it was a moment where I was like, okay, cool. Now I know. You got to take advantage of your enemy, because if you don't, your enemy will take advantage of you. Now, if I'm in the situation where I'm fighting somebody, you might say the gentleman thing to do is let him, you know, fix his stuff, fix his, you know, his groin protector, fix his, you know, his headgear, whatever. But it's a fight. It's protect yourself at all times, right? That's the golden rule in boxing, protect yourself at all times. And if you don't, you might get overtaken, right? And so they're not going to let you win. Like Instructor Steve is notorious for this during the project when they do the pugil sticks, which basically look like, just think of like almost like you're fighting with Q-tips, right? You're punching each other. There's foam on both sides. You can't really get super hurt, but that's kind of the setting, right? And a lot of these guys that are fighting, they'll get a couple good shots in, but then one of the person's hands might come out of the glove, and they'll wait for him to kind of fix their glove or fix their headgear or whatever. Steve's like, bro, the fight's not over. I didn't ring the bell. Like, go for it. What are you just sitting there watching him? Like, do it. Do some move. Like, take advantage, right? So that's a really big lesson, man. Take advantage of your enemy, or your enemy will take advantage of you. In life, in business, and everything, make sure that's a golden rule of yours, right? Because they're not going to wait for you if the rules are the roles are reversed, right? Number 3. Hit hard and hit first. This basically means that you dictate the pace, because whoever dictates the pace wins the fight in anything, right? If you're sitting there and you're waiting for somebody to throw the first punch, you're losing. You already lost. If the person threw the first punch and connects, you already lost. They dictated the pace. Now you're just responding to whatever they threw at you, right? If they hit you with an uppercut, now you have to bring your head back down, and they already hit you with a hook. They hit you with a jab, whatever. Now you're just responding. You need to get to the point where you're attacking them and they're responding to your attack, right? They have to counter your attack. And man, like, I never thought that I would learn so much in just 3 rounds of boxing. It wasn't even that it was that long. It was just like, I thought about that, and I thought about other ways that I can apply that in my life, where I should be on offense, not defense. Like offense, you need to be on offense in most things. Very rarely you should react in defense, right? That's a very, almost like a cowardice way of thinking. Like, men need to be working on offense, thinking offense, and hitting first, hitting hard, and taking advantage, right? Number 4 is you must be prepared for anything and everything. So that means train hard daily, of course, and be able to be calm in the storm. And that's really what you're doing it for. You're doing it for, you're working so hard daily, because if and when something happens, because there's always going to be a life ambush, there's always going to be something that happens that's stressful, or something you weren't expecting to happen, you kind of weren't prepared for, it's going to knock you off. But you don't want it to knock you out. Like, things are going to knock you off your square sometimes, but you got to be able to be calm, get back on a square, and keep moving forward, right? But if you don't do the daily work, you're not going to be able to do that, because you're wobbly, you're soft, you're not prepared. But if you do the daily work, you continue to challenge yourself, you'll be prepared, and you'll be able to be in that calm, be in that storm, and be able to weather it and come out victorious on the other side. And I realized this from fighting with one of the pros, man. Like, it's like there's a lot of punches that are being thrown. The punch output alone from a professional to somebody who's a little bit more casual than, I'm training for my first amateur fight, so I can't even say I'm an amateur yet. Someone who's professional versus someone who's more a casual fighter does it, multiple times a week, but still not a professional or an amateur. The punch output is way different, right? So this dude's throwing, dozens of punches and bunches, and I got to respond to all of that. So that's why I say you have to be, prepared for anything, because you don't want to be in the situation where you're in a firefight and you don't know what the hell to do. So that's number 4. Lastly, number 5 is don't ever drink your own Kool-Aid, man. Don't ever drink your own Kool-Aid. There's always going to be someone bigger, always going to be someone better, always going to be someone more experienced or faster than you. Like, it would be easy for me to say, man, I've been boxing 12 years, bro, over a decade. Since I was 16, I've been boxing. I got this. I can at least hold my own with anybody. Wrong. Wrong, bro. It would be basically, boxing doesn't have a belt system, but if they did, I would consider myself, because I'm definitely not a white belt, but I'd say, let's say 1st degree blue belt. This guy was not a Floyd Mayweather or a Roy Jones Jr. or a Muhammad Ali himself, but he would definitely say, at least, like, let's say 1st degree brown belt. So there's a difference, right? He's been in more firefights than me. He has more experience than me. He knows more tricks, right? He has more things he can pull out of his bag, right? And so I had to be prepared and ready for that. And I see a lot of people that drink their own Kool-Aid where they think, I can hang with anybody. Like, I'll give an example, man. Michael B. Jordan. I love Michael B. Jordan. Like his movies, especially Creed, boxing movie, of course. But I remember seeing an interview one time with Michael B. Jordan talking about, he had to train 3 whole years before he started filming Creed, right? It's a big deal, 3 years. That's awesome, man. Good for you. But he drank his own Kool-Aid, because then at the end of the interview, he says, yeah, but I had to work so hard to, become the boxer so I can film and look, aesthetically pleasing on film. So I know what it takes to be a good boxer, right? I consider myself decent. Like I think I could hold my own against someone like a Canelo. Like I could hold my own. I'm not saying I would win, but I could hold my own. Bro, Michael B. Jordan would get the brakes beat off him, bro, if he even stepped in the ring with Canelo for 5 seconds. I'm telling you, man, like Canelo would hit him with an uppercut so hard. He would hit him and like Michael B. Jordan's boots would be left on the ground and his freaking head would go through the roof. Like he would be knocked out so fast. Like he's not holding his own. He's going to cover up and be on the ropes in the corner and Canelo's just going to tee off on him like no problem. You know what I'm saying? It's going to look even worse than the Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight. And so people drink their own Kool-Aid a lot of times, man. They think that they can get in the ring or they can get in, whatever, this business or whatever without realizing, okay, I need to be humble. I need to understand that it's going to come with a lot of work. I have a long ways to go. But if I stay the course and I just stay consistent, then I'll get there. But I just got to keep climbing. Never drink your own Kool-Aid, man. Understand that you don't know who you're going to, your enemy might be in life, whether it's in an actual fight or whether it's, mentally or emotionally. Like you don't know who you're going up against. So understand that you need to be prepared for all of that, right? So don't drink your own Kool-Aid, man. Remember, the quietest man in the room is always the most dangerous. Like the dude who is just kind of chilling against the wall, not really saying much, just kind of analyzing, kind of just there, is usually the most dangerous. It's always the one who is loud and like talking about, yeah, I'll beat anybody up in here. Like I'm not scared of nobody, whatever. He's getting himself hyped up. He's pulling his pants up like he's going to do something. Those are always the dude's going to get comatose instantly. Like they're gonna get knocked out. They got a glass jaw. Those are always the dudes, man. The dudes that are loud and that's kind of how they carry themselves. Those are always the ones that are the softest, softer than freaking toilet paper, man. I'm telling you. So fear not the Chihuahua, but the pit bull that's sitting there just kind of waiting to intensely just staring at you, waiting to make his move, like just waiting, just knowing that anytime I want to take this person out, I can. Like that's the person you want to be worried about. So anyways, guys, I learned a lot of lessons in those 3 rounds of boxing, and I think that you guys should challenge yourself and try something like that too. Not sparring right away, but like go and box, go and sign up at a jiu-jitsu school, like learn Muay Thai, like just learn something like that, because sports in general, like traditional sports, team sports are cool, and they can teach you discipline and hard work and things like that, but it's nothing like stepping in the ring or getting on the mats with somebody that's trying to take you out. You're going against somebody, so try it out. That's my advice. Anyways, those are my 5 lessons for you guys about, what you can take from that kind of sport. And I hope you guys benefited from it. So if you did, drop a comment, man, like the video, share it, do whatever. You know what to do, man. Just engage with us, man. We appreciate it, helping us get these numbers up. We love y'all. I'll see you next time.